Fred. I got a plan myself. That's a very important juxtaposition.
Yes, it is.
Because one of the great questions of our day in this age of terrorism is that after 400 years of American terrorism against black people, 244 years of terroristic white supremacist slavery,
Watch out.
and then 90 years of terroristic Jim Crow and Jane Crow every 2.5 days for 50 years. Some black man or woman or child was hanging from some tree. The strange fruit the southern trees bear that the great Billie Holiday and the Jewish brother Maripold wrote about in the blues song. Why is it that out of these particular peoples, in the face of that kind of terrorism, you produce Frederick Douglass calling for the freedom of everybody. You produce Ida B. Wells Barnett and A. Philip Randolph and Martin Luther King Jr. and Emmett Till's mother, who said what when she stepped up to the lectern when her precious son Emmett was crushed by cowardly white supremacists in Gutbucket, Jim Crow, Mississippi in August 1955, right here in the south side of Chicago. Robert's Temple, Church of God in Christ. August 1955, what do you say, Miss Teal? She steps over and look at her baby, his head is 5 times the size of his ordinary head. She says, I don't have a minute to hate, I'll pursue justice for the rest of my life. She didn't have to read Shakespeare's The Merchant of Venice to know the difference between revenge and justice. She didn't want to get down in the gutter of the terrorists. So black folk decide not to produce black Al-Qaedas. No, we're not going to engage in counter-terroristic strategies even as we are terrorized all of these years. America needs to come to terms with that.
Come on.
It's not just on the Martin Luther King Day.
That's right. That's right.
Oh, no. Folks see Negroes, you ought to just give Negroes a standing ovation. Thank you for Martin King. Thank you for Frederick Douglass. Thank you for Ray Charles. Thank you for Curtis Mayfield. Thank you for Aretha Franklin. Thank you for Stevie Wonder. Thank you for A. Philip Randolph.
Come on
You
now.
didn't have to produce those folk tied to unarmed truth and unconditional love. We could have had terroristic cells in America and have civil war every generation. What went into producing these people such that you end up with such a prophet of unconditional love like Martin Luther King Jr., who's a wave in an ocean? Oh, that's a tough question, isn't it? Take it for granted. Didn't have to be. And I'm not saying that black people have a monopoly on truth and goodness and beauty. No, not at all. I mean, at our best, we tilt that way, but we got our worst. We got black gangsters, we got black cowards, we got black terrorists, and we've got black xenophobes. But they've never been dominant in the leadership.
Say that.
That's the crucial point. That's why Martin Luther King Jr. is exemplary, not just for black people, not just for America, but of the human project. The human project. That when you connect the quest for unarmed truth to allow suffering to speak, and then still have the perseverance to talk about love in the context of one of the most hated peoples in the modern world, black people. How you gonna talk about love? First you got to convince black people to love themselves.
Right?
That's major. Then you get black folk who love everybody else but black folk. They say, well, love's a good thing, but start with your mama. Start with your mama. Start with your daddy. Start with Letitia. Start with Jamal.